Welcome to List, Laugh, and Learn with Jodi and John.
Your inside look at real estate trends, hot topics, and fresh listings.
We'll give you the tips, stories, and insights you need.
Plus a little laughter along the way.
Let's get started. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Episode 6.
I know, it's our 6th episode. And we're still chugging along.
We are.
We're chugging along.
We need you viewers to share our podcasts to your family and friends.
We do.
So that, we can meet new people.
Right. That's the whole goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like real estate. You're meeting new people every day.
I know. You have to be a people person.
You have to. You have to really, yeah.
I just went yesterday, speaking of being a people person.
Oh.
So, you know my story about my rental in Chatham with my Zimbabwe client.
Yes.
Okay. So her family moved from Zimbabwe in August, and she's been texting me to come over and visit them so I can meet the husband and the 3 kids.
Nice.
And it's been a little busy, I have 2 kids in college, so we were parents' weekend and visiting. So I went yesterday, and they call me Auntie Jodi.
Oh, love that.
5-year-old who goes to Milton Ave School, and then a 2.5-year-old and a little girl who's 14 months. So I went to the house and met everyone, the husband and the nanny. And then I played hide and seek with the 5-year-old and the 2-year-old. I haven't played hide and seek. When was the last time you've played hide and seek, right? I was like, where do I hide? This isn't my house. It's a little awkward. They were like, come on, Auntie Jodi.
Behind the curtain.
Let's play hide and seek. And I'm like, oh, it's not my bedroom. I hid well in a closet. I scared them the first time, and then they kind of figured out. But you know what? It's kids when they hide behind the curtains, so you think you can't see them, but we really can see them.
Right, exactly, because I could see her feet.
And then we went outside and played soccer. They showed me how they play soccer.
Nice.
They asked me to go on the trampoline, to which I said no. I'm a little old for that. So it goes hand in hand.
Do they call it soccer or football?
Well, because he's in a soccer class, they're calling it soccer.
Soccer, because I know like Zimbabwe, former British colony, they might call it football. So.
Yeah, no, he did call it soccer. They played a lot of tennis in Zimbabwe, so they live. They're renting off of North Hillside, but on the other side of 78.
Okay.
So
287.
287. Is that no? It's 78.
Hillside. Right
down off of Passaic Ave.
That's 287. No, it's 24.
24.
Oh my gosh, we don't even know. We don't know our streets.
So I told them to go to Center Court.
Oh yes, the big Center Court, yes.
And then 2 Fridays ago, I went out my friend. I call her my friend now. My first sale in Short Hills. We had drinks with her and her new boyfriend and my husband.
Nice.
So everyone that I have clients say, I'll become my friends.
Good.
I went to a baby shower in September.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Hopefully everybody saw that as well, following Jodi's social media.
Yes, you should be.
All these stories.
Mm-hmm. So they do become your friends. You spend so much time with them on the weekends or texting or whatever. So they do, in my opinion, they do become your friends.
Which is a good segue into topic that we did get a question about using your realtor and being close with your realtor to help navigate a lot of the fees that are involved.
John, that was smooth.
It was very smooth, right? I knew how to segue that.
I was like, where is he going with this?
Because your realtor is not just there to like open the door and show you in and be like, this is a beautiful house. Okay, done. Really, it's because it's a process to sell and to buy a home, and there's a lot of people involved, and there's a lot of money involved too, and it's not just the house is $1 million, I'm gonna pay you $1 million.
Right.
So
there's a lot of background.
There's a lot of fees involved, and if you're a first time home buyer, you might be shocked and you might not be prepared because maybe you have a pre-approval for a mortgage for $800,000 and you're like, okay, that's it. It's just $800,000. It's like
you have closing costs.
There's a lot of other fees. Yeah, there's closing costs. Yeah.
So we're going to get down and dirty with some of these costs and help kind of guide you into who to ask what questions to.
Yeah.
So what do you want to start with?
So I guess we could just start from the buyer side. What the buyer would be responsible for. I think the first one too, which is kind of a newer piece of it, they could be responsible for the commission. That is sort of a newer law that started a year-ish.
It's always been there.
It's always
right?
been there, but
it was more prevalent in the
Right.
last 2 Augusts ago, where I think there are some sellers that are now negotiating the buyer's broker's compensation, which in the past it was kind of like automatic that the seller would pay both seller and buyer.
Correct.
We're still seeing that trend around here.
Yeah.
Every so often when I'm putting an offer in, I will get an agent that'll say, hey, bring your offer in and we'll see, because they might negotiate not paying it the seller if a buyer brings an offer in where they're paying. So
Right.
that is something that as a buyer you do have to take in consideration when you're looking at houses. Do you
Right.
have that extra cash to
Right.
pay the broker compensation? Or are you only going to create offers or look at houses where seller is paying broker compensation?
Correct.
You can always put in, even if seller says I'm not paying it, right? You can still put an offer in and say, okay, but with this offer, we're asking seller to pay the buyer broker compensation.
Right. Exactly.
So I would say never give up
Never give up.
or walk away just because you think
Right.
it won't happen.
And then I guess other things to think about for your, from a buyer standpoint, it's not really a upfront cost, but again, your mortgage, if you're getting a mortgage, and sort of making sure you have a good mortgage advisor.
We have a great one who's going to be a guest speaker on some of our episodes.
Correct. So just make sure that you have that. Again, it's not really an upfront cost. You don't have to pay for pre-approval. It might just check your credit a little bit, so make sure your credit's in a good place, so it's not necessarily a cost there.
And you can get a pre-approval from someone and then choose to go with someone else. So it's not like you're married to that person. And as you said earlier, I do think it's good to ask your agent for referrals as to who they like, who they think they enjoy working with.
Correct.
Because it is us working with the mortgage guys as well, or ladies, I should say, people. It's not just everyone's in isolation.
Correct, right. Lawyers? You're up here, northern part of New Jersey. Usually you're an attorney will be handling the entire transaction, and that's a fee as well that you're going to be paying. How much is that normally? Around $2,000?
Around.
Yeah,
just
around
depends on the lawyer.
Yeah, but definitely having a good lawyer, and again, we could recommend those. And that's for both buyer and seller.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make sure that you have, attorneys to look over all those details. That's an additional cost.
I do like when attorneys give out their cell phones, because a lot of real estate transactions do happen on the weekends. So, and same with the mortgage guy. I mean,
exactly.
Anthony did a couple of pre-approvals for me on a weekend. So
Yeah.
if your bank's closed, then you're waiting till Monday 10, 11 a.m. to get that pre-approval. Whereas, a mortgage guy or girl and a lawyer, if they send out their cell phones or have direct contact where they're checking their emails on the weekends, it does make a big difference.
Right. What else from the buyer side? Inspections, and definitely that's a big,
There's a lot to inspect.
There's a lot to inspect, and I think that's a big piece too, that you've gotten the contract, and now you need to make sure that this is going to be a solid home for you, and you need to be educated about the home. So
you have an inspection, just a regular home inspection. Then you have radon testing.
Radon. You could have a tank sweep,
which we suggest.
Which we
I think
usually do
did I
suggest.
tell that story that a house in Montville, we did a tank sweep, and they didn't do a tank sweep because when they bought, the homeowner removed a tank, so they never did the sweep, thinking that was it. And then when we went to buy, there was actually another tank on the property, so then they were responsible for removing it. So it's important to do a tank sweep, even if You know,
Right.
something was removed and there it's on record. Um, termites,
Termite, yeah.
wood bearing insects
Uh-huh.
inspection. Some people like to get the sewer.
I was about to say sewer line. Actually, yeah, the first open house I did, I guess they did an inspection. The deal actually did fall through for another reason, but when they did the inspection, they realized the sewer line was cracked. And so the seller had to replace the sewer line. So that was, but that again was a fee that the buyer had to pay as part of the inspection, but it resulted in an additional cost for the seller to, I think that was a $20,000 repair that they had to do. So definitely
these are the little extra
things
that you're not really thinking
that you
about.
might not be, and so therefore.
But it's good to know everything about your home before you're moving in.
Correct, exactly. And I think a lot of people might say, oh, I'm going to waive inspections. I might not need an inspection. Maybe your agent might not say, might say, oh, you might not need an inspection. Let's waive it as part of the negotiation. But I would still do an inspection just to learn about the home, even if you are not going to use the result of the inspection to negotiate a reduction in terms. It's just to educate you. And I think if you have a good inspector as well, and again, that's where we could come in as a resource to help find good inspectors, to just educate you, especially for a first-time home buyer, of what you need to do. I know I went on one and the inspector was great at, like, how many times a year do you replace your air filters? Come on, buyers, almost like quizzing them and things that you might not know as a first-time home buyer, to like change your air filters.
They even show where their water turn off and
turn on where's the water turn off? What does this whole pipe do? What does that do? What does the air conditioner do? Like all these things that you just might not know. So I think it's really good. Just even if part of the terms is to buy it as is and not negotiate it, just have the money set aside for a home inspection just for your peace of mind.
Yeah, and then speaking of mortgages or pre-approvals, there's the appraisal that you have to pay for.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Which is another cost that you don't think about sometimes when you're putting an offer on a house. So all these little things do add up to a couple $1,000s.
Which it's good if you are going to be looking to purchase a home. Definitely, you can work with us to help navigate and kind of put together some quick sort important dates and costs that you might have to pay as
title insurance is also another cost for buyers.
Geez, yes,
we have a great title agent in our office. She gets things done. There's been times where we needed to move fast, and as soon as we were under contract, I would be like, Debbie, we need this, this is going to close quick, So again, it's a communication between your agent, the lawyer, the mortgage rep, the title agent, and then insurance.
Yes. Yeah. Then if we flip over to the seller side, I think the big one that's kind of new is the mansion tax. And again, knowing that average home prices in this area are over $1 million, and it impacts any home sale over $1 million. Historically, it was a flat. Prior to July of 25, it was a flat 1% that the buyer actually paid when purchasing a home over $1 million. Now that is reverted to the seller, and it's actually a graduated tax up to 3.5%. Based on the value of the home. So that can be a large expense or a large reduction of your net proceeds when you're a seller. It's something to really consider when selling your home. But it's also a good negotiation tool, because if you have the cash and you're a buyer, maybe come in and say, I'm going to pay your mansion tax. I'm going to pay that 1% or 1.5% or 1% or 2% tax.
That happened to my listing.
See? Yeah.
The buyer paid buyer broker commission, mansion tax, and transfer fees.
Wow. Yes.
That's all cash for the buyer, but the buyer had the extra cash, and that was in their terms.
That's great.
So everything is negotiable.
Right.
Um,
And you mentioned transfer tax.
Mhm.
That's a thing that happens anyway. So that's on any transaction, and then the mansion tax is just on top of it if you're $1 million or more. So definitely something to consider there.
and sometimes as a seller, if you are getting those offer, those terms or conditions, it might not be the at asking price, right? At list price, I'll say, but you're saving yourself 50 grand, 60 grand right there by the buyer paying those fees.
Exactly.
So it's something to take into consideration.
Yeah, because I think for a seller, it really will boil down to their net. So it's taking all these extra fees, and paying off their mortgage if they still have a mortgage.
Right.
Are they going to come out positive at the end,
Yep.
to make sure that that's a good transaction for them. And sometimes it's not necessarily just the asking price.
Correct.
It's
There's
all the other fees sort of under.
Exactly.
We have a great little tool that we developed.
John and I made a spreadsheet.
So we can definitely review that. With
John's very good with
Excel.
but
formulas.
the formulas.
Yeah. So we can.
How did you learn all that?
My previous career, yeah.
Because I'm pretty good with formulas, but you know advanced formulas.
Yeah, and I used to have to do all of those type of things. Yeah. So.
Sorry,
You're like in awe. So.
Well, I was pretty impressed that you were.
And that wasn't even the most complicated ones. I was like, oh, I used to do all this.
I just need to know on mine, like equals sum, what is it, parentheses, B2 to like F2, end parentheses with the colon in the middle.
I know I'm getting rustier as time has gone on, but yeah, it's a great little tool that if you are selling your home.
Right, we punch in the numbers so you can see what
we can very quickly just review that with you of like, boom, this is what your net will come out to be, so that and again, it's a guide. Your lawyers and, all of your,
credits. So if you prepaid your taxes or things like that, that becomes a credit that, you might not know how much you prepaid or how much the buyer is going to have to credit you back.
Which that's all going to be through the lawyer, right? At the time of closing to kind of figure out, all of that. It's called a closing disclosure, right? Am I correct? Where it kind of breaks down all the pieces and it's like, taxes, and it's utilities, and how many days of utilities have you paid? If you're at an HOA, if you have an HOA in a townhouse, did you pay only half a month because you're closing mid-month?
Correct.
All these kind of little fees, so everything kind of is very even and properly distributed between the buyer and seller at the time of closing, that it's all like ticked and tied.
So it's important for you to, also, I think, just stay in touch with your team of people that are helping you on this deal. So you have your agent, who should be in the loop on everything.
Correct.
And you can ask any questions too. Same with your lawyer. Typically, lawyers will also send an email like with itemized list of, dates that things are due by. To keep, whether it's your deposit, your mortgage commitment, all those things, so we keep the process going along. Then you have your loan advisor, title, and also your insurance. And it's good to also get. It's no cost for you to get free advice from insurance. So you might have an insurance company with your current house or cars or whatever, but our insurance agent is fantastic at looking at your policies and where there could be improvements and guiding you through the process of getting the right policy for your home.
And it's not only home insurance.
Nope.
She does all insurance. So it could be, but yeah, I think it all, yes, we can provide who we think would be a good, people to represent you in all of those pieces, lawyer, mortgage, insurance. But again, shop around,
Correct.
definitely look at 3 different places for mortgages and get different opinions of the different terms and the different rates. Look at different places for insurance as well. Like, lawyers, you really can't shop around. I mean, you can't really get any, but definitely there could be different fees out there and different services that they provide. But
and what else? So
I think
that's pretty much
that's
it.
pretty much it. So I think it's really the key.
It's specific to each.
It is very
buyer,
specific,
seller.
but I think the main takeaway is make sure that you have extra cash during the transaction process. I think that's the key, because there are always going to be extra fees. They're always going to be it's not just paying a mortgage or paying a mortgage payment and that's it. And being close with your agent to help you through the process.
And we always give referrals. So if you're looking for a home inspector or whatever, we'll typically give you 3 or 4. I always say call and see which one you're most comfortable with when you're talking to the person. And I do know that price does matter when it comes to that type of stuff. But again, even with your lawyer and mortgage guy, call. You're allowed to talk to them and interview them to see who works best with you. We have our people that we really lend itself nicely to the relationships.
Right.
But if you're in the banking industry and you have someone, we work with everyone.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that call because that question, because I do think it's important for you to know that it's not just, okay, great, sold my house. There's these hidden costs that you might not know of, or hey, woohoo, just buying myself a house, and then you have these other hidden costs that you're like, ooh, goodness, I didn't know I can have all these different types of inspections on top of just the regular home inspection.
Exactly.
If there's septic, you have to have a septic inspection.
Right.
Well water, you have to have, there is a well water inspection typically. So those are extra things as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any questions about any of the closing costs, again, John and I would be more than happy to come sit down with you and go through what the expectations, and again, everything is a rough estimate, but at least you'd have an idea as to, okay, maybe you're gonna not put 25% down payment down, maybe you'll put 20% so you have that extra cushion of cash for some of these items. So
definitely
stay tuned for more information.
Stay tuned. Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Walkthroughs with Jodi and John. In this segment, we'll take you inside properties currently available for rent or sale.
From first impressions to hidden details, we'll give you an honest look at homes and spaces you'll want to see. Hi everyone, I am right outside of 153 Leeds Court in Madison, in the Madison Common, and I am doing an open house today. But if you couldn't make it, I'll give you a little tour inside. Come in. Welcome to 153 Leeds Court, a beautifully updated 3-bedroom, 3.5-bath townhome set in one of Madison Common's most private and desirable locations. The open concept main level features a spacious living room, dining area, a renovated kitchen, and a convenient powder room. Upstairs, the primary suite includes a walk-in closet and updated bath, along with 2 additional bedrooms, a full bath, and laundry. The finished lower level adds a large recreation area, a bonus room ideal for a guest suite or an office, a new full bath, and plenty of extra storage. Enjoy a private paver patio surrounded by mature landscaping, perfect for relaxing or entertaining. Residents here enjoy Madison Common's pool, clubhouse, tennis, and pickleball courts, all just minutes from downtown Madison, New Jersey Transit, and top-rated schools. Contact me for any additional details or to schedule a private showing.
Next up, our local business spotlight. Each episode will highlight a small business in our community,
sharing their story and what makes them unique and why supporting local matters. So we're here at Anywhere Vintage in Chatham, and we're here with one of the owners, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Hi,
Hi,
nice
Sam.
to meet you guys and the audience.
So tell us a little bit about you opening Anywhere Vintage. When did this all kind of come about?
Yeah. So
I'll let you hold that.
okay. So basically the three of us, myself, Julia, and Danielle, we have been working kind of in the vintage world for a bit. Me, like only 5-6ish years, but
Okay.
Julia and Danielle have been doing this for like over a decade.
Okay.
And I met Julia a few years back at a show, like a vintage market, and I actually had purchased something from Danielle like even earlier than that, so like our paths had crossed, but basically just kind of through conversations that like Julia was having with Danielle and that I was having with Julia separately, we all kind of were thinking about starting a shop. And so Julia connected the three of us, and we just kind of, this was in May
Okay.
of this past year, and we just kind of started, being like, all right, like what would the concept look like?
Okay.
What would the place feel like? What kind of space are we looking for, and where are we looking to go? So we started just kind of looking at places around North Jersey to see what would make sense. And we saw this place. We called to see what the situation was with the building. And it all like happened really fast.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
super fast.
Yeah.
We're in November
fast.
right now.
Yeah.
And you opened when?
We opened in September. We were having like our soft opening, and then October 25th was our like grand opening.
Yes. Okay.
So
that is fast. That's
yeah,
really
and we weren't honestly.
The storefront, it was built for,
Yes,
a clothing store.
Yes.
In the sense that there wasn't much remodeling that you had to do for this.
We didn't have to. I mean, we put up all the racks and everything
Yeah.
ourselves. Like we did all of that, but this was a clothing store beforehand.
Right.
So, it was pretty much like an empty box that we could fill with what we saw our vision was. And yeah, it was really exciting. We were not expecting it to happen as quickly as it did.
Wow.
Do you guys live local? Do you live around here?
Yeah, so I live in Montclair.
Okay.
Danielle's in Union,
Okay.
and Julia's in South Orange.
Okay, so John's probably like, Jodi has so many questions, but where do you go to find the clothes? Like, what? I mean, you don't have to tell us the exact locations, but it's so
Keep the
interesting.
secrets. Don't want
You
to
can-
don't
Yeah,
reveal
yeah.
the secrets.
Exactly,
So
but
No, I'll give you like a general idea. We are constantly thrifting. We're constantly searching. I think, we're going to like antique like sales, estate sales, whatever
Okay.
it is. Like shops. I mean, I think the thing with sourcing clothing is having the eye.
I was just
For
going to say that
it,
because you said
because-
estates, and I was like, oh, so you guys must have an eye for exactly what you're looking for when you're
Yes.
going through like an estate sale.
Yes,
or
and
something.
even at a thrift shop or like any of those types of like things, we're always looking. So like it could be just some like random I'm trying to think. There's like one place that I went like in South Jersey that is just like a I don't even want to call it. It's not a consignment shop. It's a thrift shop, but it's like almost like a stop and swap. Like it's a
okay.
very
Got it,
like
yeah.
below a thrift shop, if
Yes,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And so it's just like we're constantly looking for places to source, and we're just constantly looking. Whenever we go into a store, whenever we go to somebody's like home or whatever, we're all three of us have the same kind of like, oh, that's
Vision.
interesting.
Yeah.
Like we're clocking things. We're like taking inventory of what people
Yeah.
have, what's trending, what do we see is going to forecast, like all those things.
Yeah. So what is kind of your baseline sort of trend that you kind of want to portray in this, that you want your customers to feel when they come in, and what you sort of are looking for?
Right.
So
What's interesting about us is that we all kind of come from different traditions in terms of what we are sourcing and collecting. So um, when I started this about 5-6 years ago, it's my twin sister and I. It was her brainchild, came up with this idea of vintage witches, and essentially the idea of it is to be like, it's kind of whimsical, feminine, like divine entities, so like the goddess and the fairy and the sorceress, and all of the different kind of magical um creatures, womanly creatures. And so for us, we source a lot of like very like delicate, highly like feminine pieces. So a lot of the stuff that we ended up collecting were antiques, and then we kind of have leaned into like slips and just like delicate items. So what kind of ended up happening is we started really collecting and focusing on the like late 19th century to the like early 20th century.
like
so a lot of
1920s,
yes
1930s.
yes so a lot of the stuff that we have in the store here is antique, but they're like beautiful, one of a kind pieces,
well cared for, not
like beaded, I mean, just really beautiful things. And then Danielle, who her brand is Scout and Supply. She's been doing this, I think, for like 15 years or something like that. And a lot of the stuff that she's collected are kind of that mid-century, 50s, 60s, 70s. And just like your beautiful patterned like pants and sets and dresses, like, the just really cool like statement pieces that you would find from that mid-century era. And Julia, her kind of bread and butter is, as well as like sourcing vintage, she is a wonderful seamstress and embroidery artist. And so she takes a lot of garments that are, either going to waste, like they have like issues or whatever, and she recreates something beautiful with them. So, and actually we the antique stuff, a lot of it is kind of in disrepair, and so we've worked together. That was kind of when we first met, like 6 years ago. We worked together on a couple projects that I mean ended up making just like beautiful, antiques that are now more modern because they've been,
I love that, how all three of you are like interconnected and different.
Yes.
And it all kind of works together. I love that.
So to go back to the original, I guess the second part of the question, like how did we, what was the idea for the space? We really wanted to have people walk in and feel like they were like walking through just like not only like a feeling, like you walk through the store and you get like different like senses as
like
you're
I
walking
got the Charlie's
through.
Angel vibe
over there, but
with this one piece outfit that I would love to get, but I'm just telling myself it's too big for me. But I kind of got a little bit of a Charlie's Angel vibe over there. And then I did get over here those dresses over there where you were saying the silky, like very feminine, going through the rack just to see, which you don't really see those types of dresses anywhere.
Yeah. And so, there's a couple of things.
And then you have flannel shirts over here, which I was kind of surprised to see some.
Well, a couple of things happening here, I think. I mean, one, we want people to walk in and we want them to kind of feel like they're walking into different worlds as they're
Mm-hmm.
walking around. But also, as any shop owner, like we want people to just feel welcomed, and we want people to like just be intrigued, you know.
Yeah.
This section over here, this is kind of like a men's rack. We put
Okay.
it in for the opening, but you know, I mean, men do come in here and we're always just like, oh, we don't really have anything for you, but no, we do have some stuff. So
Okay.
you know, it's not, some people find it very exciting,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Do you see a lot of, like, I have daughters, so their ages 20, 22, and 24. Do you see women that age, kind of interested in this type, or is it more like my age where, you know, I could have worn these, 15, well, no, 30 to 40 years ago. I'm aging myself a lot now. Do you have like a huge variety of clientele that come in, or is it mostly, people of the older age that kind of want that vintage look?
it's definitely a mix.
It is.
I think
I feel like I have to convince my daughters that some of this stuff is so awesome to wear.
well, so
They're kind of looking at me
yes.
sometimes and be like, wow, Mom, that's a lot of patterns.
So I think, you know, there's a couple of things that are happening, I think, when we think about vintage and our clientele. Definitely, you know, 20 somethings. I think the largest part of our clientele is probably like in their late 20s and like you know, 40s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like really like that 30 40s
Okay.
range. But you know, the thing here is like we try to focus on what is trending, but also like what is good quality, and what, you know, makes sense for what we're trying to curate. But I think that the younger generation tends to be a lot more trend focused, and I think that's any 20 something, you know, no matter what generation. Just you know, as you get older, you appreciate like clothing in a different way.
Yeah. Exactly.
But also I think in the times that we're in, especially with like the garment industry, it with fast fashion and everything, it is so damaging. So, you know, for us, we really try to shop used and vintage as much as possible as a lifestyle, but we want people to be able to come in here and find like that really special piece that can be on trend but is also like something that isn't
Unique.
yeah, and something that wasn't just kind of like quickly made out of polyester or
and like
you know,
you're gonna throw it away in 6 months because it's
right,
like done, like,
exactly,
like you've worn it out.
yeah.
Do you do like if clients come in with like requests, like, oh, I'm looking for X or Y, like a certain dress or a certain pattern or a certain fabric? Have you done things like that?
So Julia can basically create anything, which is amazing.
Got it. Oh, good. Yeah.
But also, I mean, we haven't had many of those requests yet, but I would love for us to be able to do that for people, because we certainly can.
That's good.
You know,
good to know. Good
yeah,
advertising.
we are, you know, that and like styling and things like that. That's definitely something that, you know, if somebody comes in here and it's like, I have this event, like if we don't have it in the shop, like we all have kind of places that we look and people that we can kind of tap to be like, okay, you know, maybe I can search in this corner of the world and see where I'm going to find this one piece for this particular person and this specific event. So
that's good. That's good. So what's the response been in the community, in the town? How's that been since you've opened?
It's been so amazing and so warm and welcoming. People they've repeatedly said like, we really need something like this here. And there's a lot of awesome restaurants and cafes in town, but not like a ton of retail spaces.
Yeah.
And it's different too then.
Yeah. And I think it fits with where Chatham is going. You know, I think it's fitting into its like future of Chatham type of thing. There's a lot of like, you know, younger people
Yeah.
living here than there used to be, and they're looking to kind of like be involved in something interesting, and our goal is to offer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, and you're located too, and this is a good location too because you do have Summit and Madison and Morristown really close by where people can just pop over in 5-10 minutes to the drive for a drive over here.
Right.
Yep.
You are on Main Street.
Yep.
So
Yep.
what is your address?
242.
242 Main Street. So that's also nice because you're located near the restaurants and shops. So when you're going out to lunch or breakfast, you can stop on by
Yes.
after have a bite to eat or
Mm-hmm.
before you have a bite to eat to do
Yes.
some shopping.
And we try to open for those like, pop-ins specifically.
Yeah. Do you have any events planned in the future?
Yeah, so I think we want to start doing workshops. We did an embroidery workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we're going to do more things like that. With the holidays coming up, I think we might do like a wreath workshop or something a little bit festive. And then we'll probably like from the couple weeks before the holidays, we'll probably not do anything like that until after the new year starts.
People are busy.
And then and I think just because we opened up, we opened technically at the end of October, and so now we're like into the holiday season. But all of this is to say, like, we are gearing up to have events here. We want this to be a place that is community oriented. We want people to be able to come here and like not just shop around, but feel like it's something that they are also a part of. So
you could even like a ladies' night out or something.
Yes,
people can call you, contact you for
like their own private event if they wanted that.
Yeah,
I think that's a great
right
idea.
Now you're making
ornaments, right?
Yes. Yes. We cleared off our table to make some Christmas ornaments to sell for everybody.
So that's something women could do if they just wanted to get out of the house in the evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can kind of brainstorm with them different activities you could potentially do here.
Yes, exactly. And I'm hoping to make this like I would love if there were local like writers or people who are relevant in the community or whatever it is. If there were readings people wanted to do or like a poetry night or like
fun.
that's
so
something.
It's kind of like an artistic vibe as well. Like, the creativity and
I'm trying. I think we're trying to harken back to like the days of the like the 1920s salon, where people can like gather and talk about things, but then also like create things and be amongst things that are inspiring and feel like they have something to give to you, and you can kind of give back to them a second life.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, that's so
I
cute.
love that. I love this place.
I do have to say that you're a twin. I'm a twin too.
Oh my God,
Are
really?
you identical?
Yes.
So am I.
I love
Two
that.
twins.
Oh, no.
We're totally going off.
Yes.
Are you the older or younger?
I'm the younger one.
Me too.
Oh my God.
How many minutes?
3.5.
Okay, you beat me. We're 6.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that you said twin, and I was like, I have to just.
I have to add that in
because only twins can understand twins,
especially identical.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something special about it.
Special, it's definitely weird.
Does she live near you?
She's in Brooklyn, but she's like the 0.5 owner of the store because her and I own our brand together. And really the brand is her like brainchild. Yes. I'm more of like the business go-getter type in that way. And so that's why the store kind of came to fruition. But yeah, like it's her artistic integrity that is showcased in the stuff.
Very cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, definitely pop on by. You said 342 or 242? 242 Main Street.
Yep.
Are you open 7 days a week, or what days are you open?
So we're open Thursdays to Sundays, and we do appointments Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Okay.
Makes sense because you got to go out there and shop too.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's not as easy probably. You guys are like finding.
Can't just order it online and have
No,
it shipped.
needles and nails stacked too. Like,
yeah.
Can't just be like, oh, I want 50 of those.
Yeah.
Have them shipped tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like,
We
no,
will
no.
have a website up and running at some point, and it
Okay.
will be anywherevintage.com. But
Okay.
that is we're getting
2026.
we're getting
26.
there. I'm in
26.
the process of creating it, but
Yeah,
it'll take a little bit. But
Okay.
we will have some items shoppable online
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay.
No, great.
Yeah.
well, thank you for
Great. Well,
letting
thank
us in.
you.
We're gonna take
Yes.
a little.
Cool.
tour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please do. That's
All right.
awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to List, Laugh, and Learn with Jodi and John.
Be sure to subscribe and share, and join us next time for more real estate insights, laughs, and walkthroughs.
Until then, happy house hunting.